Hey guys! Welcome back to Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 2. Last time, we acquired the final piece of the Kaiser robot that we've been working on for pretty much the whole game. We also did some of our exploration around here, but I didn't go under here yet because, well, I'm not really sure why I didn't. Probably for the same reason that I usually miss the fact that it's there. I'm just somewhat blind, I guess. But yeah, they kind of hide it in there. And there's one of these guys, which is the same guy we fought before. As with last time, I do recommend fighting those guys with your special attacks, though they're not really the ones you need to worry about as much as the other enemy that appears around here. There's only two enemies around here, save for boss, but yeah, so that one will drop us down here, and I believe we've blown up all the rest of this stuff before, but as soon as you exit out the screen, they will respawn all of these things, which is kind of irritating, but oh well. Now, you may not know where to go until you approach this single spot on the wall, and if you hit it enough times, that will happen. Now, before I go any further, I am going to switch my party around, and I am going to make you the leader. Now, this may be superstition, but I found that with the other enemies, they tend to target the Zebulon, or at least in this case it was Zebulon. They might target lower HP characters, or they might be targeting my leader. So if it is the leader, I'm going to try and get them to focus more on Asher, because Asher's got way more HP. And Zebulon was getting her ass kicked a lot when I was here in testing a little while ago. So, this is a little rotating platform that the little red light over on the left side will be able to control. But before doing that, we should probably head this way, get that, which I'm not super worried about, but you probably will want to make use of some of those around here. Anyway, this is the final new enemy. Well, not that that's a big thing to say considering there's only two, but, you know, to each his own. These guys seem to special one way or the other, specialize. They'll either specialize on physical attacks, which do more damage, so those are the ones you don't want to be stuck against, or they special on magic attacks. Either way, if they're specialing on magic attacks, they will use Ether Spear. If they're specialing on physical attacks, they will use Attacker. Both are bad. These ones not so much. You can't dodge these while you're stalking, but they don't deal nearly as much damage. The other ones do like 3,500 damage, which, considering Zebulon's HP, means that she goes down rather quickly. Target you. And I need to stock one more time before I can finish you. Yeah, some of their attacks, they use like a lot of these Flame Blasts. Like we can actually learn Aura Blast, Flame Blast, Thunder Blast, Ice Blast, but they're so weak, even at the start of the game. They're somewhat useful in like the first dungeon or two, and after that they're completely outmatched by your physical attack damage. So that's why I never bothered to learn them throughout the entire game. Just didn't think it was really worthwhile. Should be able to finish you off now. I guess I should go over what they're weak against. I've just been using the same attacks as I have against the other ones. Aw, really? These are the ones you really don't want to use your normal attacks on, just because you do significantly less damage, and they do more damage. They have a higher damage output. So anyway, these guys are 150% weak to Thunder, 175 to Pierce, hence my attacks, 250 to Slash, weak to Physical. None of our square attacks are Slash, they're all... yeah, I'll just fix you off there. They are all strike damage, so unfortunately we can't do a lot of damage that way. I think there's one pure slash attack. All the other ones are combined with other elements. I think most of them are combined with aura, but that's neither here nor there. Basically, this is a rather effective way of taking them out. Mainly, you want to be stalking a lot of the time in this fight, just because these guys do a lot of damage, and evasion is a great thing because Inner Peace is awesome. Hopefully you can get some back shots on these guys, but you may or may not. It kind of depends. But yeah, that's pretty much all the enemies in here. There's not a whole lot to the fights. I'm going to do a normal attack. And then I should be able to finish you off, hopefully. If you critical with one of your attacks, you're pretty much guaranteed to take the guy down in you know, two separate attacks, or if you have a back attack, that would do just as well. Really? Die. Anyway, with that being said, that's pretty much all to that battle. That one takes quite a bit longer than the other ones, so they're pretty much all the remaining enemies are going to be that tight, which is kind of annoying. I'll just take care of them off screen because it takes forever. But if you're playing, you may want to run from them. But they do give really good experience, and if you take a look at our mechs, they're somewhat under-leveled. And there is, after we finish this dungeon, there's only one more enemy that we can fight with our mechs that's new. And that's one of the game's super bosses. You probably want to be like level 50 for those. As you can tell, I'm nowhere near that. So yeah, at some point I will come back and use the grinding method that I outlined last time, zoning in and out of the segment address room there. And there's the Sun Guard. I turn on fast forward, get out of here a lot faster. And this guy will have respawned, so I'll take care of him too. As usual, make sure you're healing in between fights around here, because the enemies do quite a bit of damage, especially if those guys are the physical variety. I don't think they have any different stats or anything like that. They're not listed as separate enemies, but yeah, they definitely do quite a bit more damage. So we want to switch this, which means we can't leave. However, that does give us access to 2 additional little side areas that we definitely want to check out. One of them is somewhat useful anyway. I don't think there's many too good items around here though, which is rather unfortunate. Then again, we have pretty much all the good mech gear that we're going to get in this game. The one I think that... No, wrong button. The one that we have that I don't think I've made use of or even really mentioned all that much is... Where are you? Somebody is probably equipping it. Yes, Auto Recover, which recovers you when you die, which Auto Life is good. We can get, I think, 3 more of these. Basically, after you get a second one, you can just sell the rest if you haven't completed that GS quest yet and paid off Matthew's debt, but I've already done that, so don't need to worry about that too much. There's an item in here. And why am I still getting Nano Repair A's at the end of the... Well, past the end of the game? Okay, I will mention this because I've been reading through bits and pieces of the official strategy guide for the game. And as far as I recall from the bits that I've read, which of course hasn't been the entire thing, is this is the first time in the strategy guide, this dungeon, where they say, if you get pincered in by 2 enemies, you should probably run away. And I've been saying that since the subconscious domain summer. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you do that. It's not bad advice, it's just a little late on the guide's part. That's something that should be in like the tips and tricks at the start of the guide, but okay, whatever. Now, I think there's 2 paths we can go. I should probably get that. Nanosphere. Guess that could be useful? Sure, why not? Man, the movement rate in here is slow. Blow up that one. Hello. Goodbye. Yeah, the enemies take a little while to kill, but when I'm editing them out, makes the progress through this area a little faster than it otherwise would be. Just pretty much like any other dungeon we've been through throughout the game. They really artificially make the game take a little longer with the slow movement speed and the long battles. Speaking of which, I will backtrack to that centerpiece off-screen here, because I'm going to have to fight you again. I think that's probably one of the better items you get in here, sad as that is. Okay, we're back. Now, I already went over here. I was going to fight this guy off-screen. I blew up the 3 things that were around here. They were just kind of in the way. I'd like for you to move out of my way if you don't mind. Unfortunately, this guy seems to be not only a real pain in the ass because he won't move, but every time I've run into him, he's been in a pincer attack. So basically, my strategy for getting past that is run away, use that time to sneak by him, and of course it's going to be right in the way every time, and I'm going to have to run away 6 times on screen because this game loves me. Yeah, I don't know why they put specific enemies that only pincer you, unless it like makes sense. If it's a storyline battle, sure, that's fine. And that item's worthless anyway. Anyway, I just cut out my couple more attempts there because that was being really annoying. Those guys take way too long to run away from. And just all the loading of battle transitions and all that stuff. So anyway, I just cut the rest of that out. But basically, that's your way around enemies that won't leave you alone and want to pincer you every time if you don't want to fight them. All you have to do is run away a whole bunch of times and use your invincibility time to escape, which is nice. Right, there's one more of those, one more of these. This one has something. Not all that useful, but okay. Better than repair A. Okay, so this room is a dead end and just has some treasure in it, so I'll meet you at the bottom of that little ramp there once we're done here, because again, I'm going to have to fight that guy as we head back through. Kind of irritating how often that seems to happen. And here we see another one of those. Can I actually get that treasure chest? I am pulling backward. Come on, game. Thank you. And yeah, we'll be able to get back there momentarily. It looks like one of those dive devices. Well, it kind of is, and we'll show off that in a moment. Okay, enough of that backtracking. I already blew those up, but there was another enemy right here. I just took care of that one off screen because it, well, almost killed me. And once we head through here, we will find my favorite thing in the world in this game. A save point. Not so much the boss that's standing there, but I need to reset up my mechs and equip for this boss fight, so I will see you in a moment. Alright, we're back. Now, take this strategy with a little bit of a grain of salt. Pretty much every guide I've looked at says do not use Asher for this fight, but I think Asher's great for this fight, mainly because in my testing, I took out the boss without really any trouble at all. But you may struggle, and if so, I would use Dina, because that's what everyone else seems to recommend. So as far as what I got equipped on, Tune Circuit, Status Double, and Ether or Energy Max 300. Now, the reason for the Status Double is because the boss is extremely fast, so I'm going to be using Quick in order to nullify that advantage. The other thing is you want to make sure you have either Shion or Chaos with Asher for Odin Buster because the boss is weak to beam. And with Zebulon, you want Ziggy for fire because the boss is also weak to fire. And that's pretty much my strategy. It's all damage, no real defense. There's a reason for that. This guy can be annoying. First things first, move. Now, this boss will be surprised by the visitors and will not do anything at the start of the fight. Now, depending on how many times you attack him in his first 6 turns, not yours, he will boost his power. And if you attack him, I think it's more than 5 or 6 times, he will increase his power by like 100% or something ridiculous like that. So don't do that. That's a bad idea. Stalk. And while you're stalking, eventually we will have Momo boost herself on her own turn, but I would like to get everyone's stuff up there first, because I'm not too worried about his turns at the moment, because like I was saying, as you can see, he's really, really fast. But I want to get everyone up to max stock first. And then... Now, I can't move to the back of him, so I would actually like Momo to go first. Don't really want to boost Momo at this place, but I'm just going to stalk one more time. Yeah, he bows to his visitors. He got no boosts there, or no buffs to his stats. Now, he can get buffs to his stats if you attack, like between 0 and I think 3 times attacked, he gets no buffs, and 4 to 6 is another, and then like 7 and up is the huge buff. So you are going to go Ether and throw Quick on us. We could have done this at the start of the game, or at the start of the battle too, but Status Double will allow us to last 6 turns. We probably could have gotten away with doing it at the start, but oh well. So once Quick is on both of our mechs, then we can actually keep up with this guy. And ideally, I'll want to attack him from the back since we have that option. Or on a critical slot, that works too. So, okay, he's 250% weak to beam, 150 to aura, 250 to fire, 150 to hit, and weak to ether. Both of these attacks that I've chosen are ether-based, hence why I'm using them. And I got combo boost, or revenge, to go through on that one. I will take that, even though I'm no longer at his back. As you can tell, he has a lot of HP. 96,000 HP, which is why I've chosen the specific attacks that I'm using, because they will peel off his HP rather quickly. If you do not have quick on your characters, he's likely to get multiple attacks each round, and you're just going to be stuck healing pretty much the whole time. However, if you do have quick set up before he starts attacking you, and you have inner peace, all you're basically going to do is stalk, he's going to use his normal attack, we're going to evade, and we're going to be fine. So that's my strategy for this fight. It's not super in-depth or anything. It's all about damage and avoiding being hit at all. From the back, I will take that. Maybe I can cancel his turn. That would be even better. But yeah, if you hit the enemy from the back or on a critical slot, you can do 24,000 damage, which is very, very nice. Ow. Yeah, I'll hit you from behind. I think that's probably the best way to go. But as you can see, he drains his HP rather quickly if you use this method. That's why I don't find any disadvantage to bringing Asher to this fight. He almost never gets hit. That can inflict poison. Don't worry about that too much. What am I... Did I get inflicted with poison? Oh, wow, I did. That kind of sucks. Oh, well. I believe, if I remember correctly, this guy, yes, his IA stat is actually really high. Most enemies are like 10 to 30, and he's almost at 50. So I would avoid attacking him. He's probably going to end up badly. Once he does this, he's starting to increase his speed. He gets even faster. And let me guess. Okay, I was thinking that would increase his IA as well. Yeah, he increases his gear speed, and his IA tends to go up as well, which means he has a greater chance to intercept attacks, and he'll start boosting. Okay, now hopefully I can get this hit off. Yeah, he's going to intercept. He does a lot of intercepting, and I'm going to have to redo this fight. Yeah, if you get unlucky, you can get screwed on that one. If it was Asher that died, I wouldn't have had any problems with it, but unfortunately, I kind of got screwed over on that. Because all he had was 10,000 HP left, all I needed to do was hit him, and he died. But since I want to make sure I get the experience for this fight, which is very important, look at all that experience, I will see you in a moment. Okay, that's much better. 37,000 experience for each, specifically for the Zebulon, who definitely needs the experience more than everybody else, although she will be in most boss fights going forward anyway. Don't have to worry about stealing from that guy, that's all he gets. As you kill bosses in the 3 bonus dungeons, one of these little things will light up, and once it does, once all 3 of them light up, we will get access to a secondary dive device within another dive device. And that one is actually, well, within this one. They give us access to this thing and don't show us where it is, and it may seem kind of confusing. We'll show off that in a moment. First things first, most importantly, sequencer C, we can go to the next dungeon. Over here, if you get off this, that will show you to that thing that we just took a look at. This, nicely enough, allows you to dive straight out, because you cannot press triangle, go into your menu, and dive immediately out of the UMN if you're in one of these sequencer areas, the bonus dungeons. So yeah, that's pretty much all for that dungeon. Now that we have that, I will meet you on the Elsa. As you can tell from that music, we're at the Robot Academy. One thing I did not mention for that fight, let's see here, was which skills I had equipped on which characters. I used Junior with those skills, and I used Momo with those skills. They were just what I had from before, since I couldn't get on my characters without backtracking all the way out. I didn't bother to change any of them up. They're pretty much fine for what I was doing. Not that I really used any of them, save for status protection. At least in that fight. Now, this is the last option we have for modifying Kaiser. None of these affect damage in any way. They're just dependent on how it looks. I don't even know most of the differences. Like I said before, there's many different types, but sure, I'll just pick that one because it doesn't matter. Now we get to get the second last of these little sequences, I believe. Even the assistant has no idea what the crazy old man is talking about. I have a feeling that's not what you're planning. And Matthews is pretty gullible, I guess. One request. And what would that be? Yeah, I guess that would be a good idea. So you're not going to make any money at this. In fact, it's probably just going to cost more money. Yay! So we don't know where he is, and we don't know how to find him. Yeah, they don't really give you a lot to go about on this one. But once you've gotten the final piece of Kaiser that we got in the desert dungeon a couple episodes back, we'll be able to come here, talk to him, give our option on the body type, and seriously, I think you need the bath, buddy. You've probably been stuck in here for who knows how long. Anyway, now that we've done that, we have all the robot parts. First step toward that membership in the Milsha Country Club. Yeah, I think you probably are. That sounds like a great idea. Let's go do both of those. I don't really know what's going on here, but anyway. Eventually, once you do all this babble and listen to... Are you breaking the fourth wall? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. That's pretty much it. Now, here is something that's actually kind of cool. This is the first time that this opens up, and we get a throwback to the weird contraption that we saw working on Kaiser in the first game. It's, I think, pretty much the same little doodads coming from the ceiling. They look very much the same, don't they? Or at least it's the same idea. Now, instead of the mech pieces going down with all those things, we get the door closing instead. I don't know why there's a siren in the background or anything that's really going on with this sequence, but okay. Now I believe that's the fanfare theme. Kind of interesting. I don't mind it. Anyway, now Xion has learned her final additional spell that nobody else has. No. Wrong buttons. Keep pressing the wrong button. Kaiser Fury. Because we set it up as a slash attack, it is a slash attack. Once per battle, costs 50 EP. This basically makes Xion not one of them. She can do the most damage with a single attack of anyone in the game now. And that will continue. Now, I still prefer, basically going forward, the remaining two dungeons are character dungeons. And I'm going to be going over two different parties for those. We have the Xion party, which results in me going into battle, casting an Ether Sword, using Kaiser, mopping up whoever's left over with these two, and done. The other party will be Junior, Jin, and Momo, which, as far as using normal attacks and building chains and stuff, are pretty much the best party in the game. Chaos, after all we've seen him do, especially at the end of the storyline, where he basically proves that he's beyond human, breathing in space, and talking even though his voice shouldn't carry in space, and getting into another space anyway. Yeah, he's not particularly useful throughout most of the bonus areas, though I will swap him for Ziggy if, the enemy's weak to Aura instead of Fire, but more of the enemies coming up are weak to Fire, so Ziggy gets the nod by default. Basically, I'll probably show most of the battles with this party here, and then I might show a couple of battles using Xion, just so that we can kind of see the 2 alternate strategies for taking care of most normal enemies, and even some bosses. Anyway, long episode aside, that's pretty much all we have for today. Next time, I will meet you in the subconscious domain Summer, where we can unlock the next sequencer and move forward with the next bonus dungeon.